Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're here for the first time, my name is Priya and I'm a newly qualified doctor working in the UK. If you've seen my other videos, you'll know that I recently graduated from the University of Liverpool. My husband and I started this YouTube channel a year ago, and we post regular videos related to medicine, travel, faith, and a little bit of everything we get up to. So if you haven't already, do subscribe to our channel and become part of our YouTube family. So in today's video, as you guys can already tell from the title, I'm going to be sharing with you guys my first day on the wards as a doctor. So a quick disclaimer before you proceed to watch, please don't be scared because I had it quite tough on my first day. So I don't want you guys going away thinking this is too scary, I don't want to do this. Looking back at it, I absolutely enjoyed my first day. As horrible as it was or as scary as it was, I actually feel like I've become so much more confident now because I had it so tough on my first day. So without further ado, let's get to story time. So in this video, I'm going to be going through what exactly happened on my first day, the kind of things I got up to, and I'm just going to be reflecting back on my first day with you guys. So for those of you who know me and for those who follow me on Instagram would know that I had to move into a different deanery to start my foundation program. So foundation program is a training programs medical graduates will enter after medical school. So when we started, we initially had an induction week. Well, it wasn't exactly a week. So on Wednesday, Thursday, we had a lot of lectures. And then on Friday of that week, we had a shadow day. So that was supposed to be the day you go into your wards, you shadow the F1 who's currently on the ward or any other doctor who's on the ward. So you kind of get used to the system, okay? So we were supposed to have 3 days of shadow day, so Friday and the following Monday, Tuesday. And we were going to officially start as a doctor on that Wednesday. In my head, I was like, I'm just going to go in on Friday, see how things work, convince my brain that yes, I am now finally officially a doctor. So I was really nervous. At the same time, I was very, very excited. So for me, it was quite an emotional morning, that Friday morning. So anyways, I, get everything ready. It got to 8:30 and I'm thinking, should I leave? Even though it's literally a 10-minute walk to the hospital, I was like, okay, I'm going to be super early because I'm going for the first time. I need to find my ward. So I set off then I go into the ward and I go up to the nurse's desk and I'm like, hi, my name is Priya. I'm one of the doctors who's starting today. And then it just felt so surreal saying it. I was actually saying, hi, I'm one of the doctors, because all this time I always introduce myself, hi, I'm one of the students, work experience students, or hi, I'm one of the medical students. But finally I get to introduce myself as, hi, I'm one of the doctors who's starting today. And that for me was, I don't know, I just felt quite, emotional at that time. They showed me where the doctor's office was to drop my bag off. So I go into the doctor's office, I drop off my bag and I see one of the other doctors sat there. So she had a stethoscope around her neck, hence why I know she was one of the doctors. So I walk over to her and I'm like, hi, I'm Priya, I'm one of the doctors who's supposed to be shadowing today. Do you know where the F1 is? And she just looks at me and goes, oh yeah, we don't have an F1 on the ward. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm supposed to be shadowing someone, so do you know who I can shadow? And she was like, oh, you can shadow me if you want. And I was like, brilliant, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I'll tag along with you today. I think I made it very clear that I was here for shadowing and I wasn't officially starting. So then it got to 9 and she told me, oh, okay, we're gonna go over because ward round is about to start. This is where the consultant, goes through all the patients and allocate you to whichever bay you're working in, etc. So now I'm thinking, I'm pretty chilled. I'm like, it's fine, just have to tag along with her. Literally, I'm just observing today. So anyways, I walk over and there's a consultant standing there and there's another doctor standing there and the nurses are also, gathered around for the board round. And I introduce myself to the consultant. So I say, hi, my name is Priya, I'm one of the F1s starting. I'm here for shadowing today. And he goes, okay. And I'm like, oh, okay. And the board round was about to start. The consultant on the ward gets a phone call. And I don't think much of it. So I'm like, he's taking an important call before the ward round starts. So over the phone, he says, oh, okay, right. Okay, we've only got 3 doctors. Okay, I'll see what I can do. And as he was saying it, I was looking around thinking, 3 doctors? There's only 2 of them. I'm just here for shadowing. So I didn't know why he was counting me in. And then he goes, right, the ward upstairs, they don't have any doctors. Yes, he said any doctors. So he goes, the ward upstairs doesn't have any doctors, so I need one of you to go upstairs. And I'm thinking, why is he still looking at me? I am literally here for shadowing. So in my head, I'm thinking, right, he's going to send the other 2, one of the other 2 upstairs. And he goes, oh, Priya, how about you go upstairs? And at that point, my heart literally broke into 1,000 pieces. I wanted to cry, okay? I was confused and I was like, well, if there are no doctors upstairs, who am I going to shadow? I have made it very clear that I'm here for shadowing. So I obviously had all these thoughts going through my head, but I didn't want to say anything. I don't know why I didn't say anything, probably should have. But I was like, oh, okay. And he goes, yeah, don't worry. Like, everyone upstairs is going to be nice. You know, they'll look after you. 1, I don't know where this ward is, so I need to now run around, look for this ward. 2, I'm like, are you kidding me? There are no doctors upstairs. What am I supposed to do? I'm not ready to be a doctor yet. I still have 3 days. So I said yes, okay, looked very confident, even though I was dying inside. So I'm walking, finally find the ward, and I walk in. And as I walk in, obviously the ward upstairs is also having a board round. So they had just finished the board round, and I'm walking in, and I walk in and I'm like, hi, I'm one of the doctors. I'm one of the F1 doctors. I just got told to come up here. And the consultant there, he was like, oh yes, Priya. And I was like, yes. And he was like, okay, why don't you go, find a place to put your stuff and join the board round. And I said, okay. And I went, found a place, put my stuff down, and came back to the board round. And obviously they had finished and they were just allocating, who's going where. So the consultants were talking about different patients on different bays. Did I know what they were talking about? Nope. Did I know what anyone was talking about at this point? Nope. Did I know what I was doing at this point? Nope. I just blankly just stood there, okay? In my head, I'm thinking someone's going to come to my rescue. Some doctor is going to turn up. Because I genuinely didn't know how anything works. I didn't know how the system works. I didn't have passwords for anything. I just didn't know anything. Just imagine a first-year medical student being thrown into the ward. How are they going to feel? That's how I felt, okay? And then my consultant, and for the purpose of this video, let's call him Dr. A. So Dr. A tells me, oh, Priya, why don't you go log in? I'll catch up with you. And I'm thinking, what? And I just looked at him and said, oh, I don't have a login. And he was like, oh, right, okay. And then he called one of the student nurses, and he was just like, oh, do you want to go with Priya and, log in for her? And, it's her first day, why don't you just help her out? So she came along with me, and thank the Lord for that student nurse. She literally just saved my life that day. So she came along with me, and then she logged into her account, and she was like, okay, you can use my account. And then she logged in and she was like, okay. And I'm thinking, well, you've logged in, but I don't know what system to open. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't even know, like, obviously different, like when I was in med school, like every specialty, they prepare the notes in a different way. I don't know what the consultant meant by go start, like start what? Do you know what I mean? So then she logged in, and then my consultant came over, and can I just say, like, he's my favorite consultant, okay? And he will forever remain my favorite consultant, maybe because I started off this medical journey, and he was the first consultant on that day. He's just so super, super lovely. I don't think I would have survived that day if it wasn't for him. Now we're 5 minutes in, okay? We're seeing our first patient. He's going through all the blood results as I'm writing, so I'm doing the documentation for that ward round. I have a nurse who casually walks into the bay and she shoves a prescription chart in front of me and goes, "Oh, this patient's in a lot of pain. Can you prescribe some paracetamol?" Yeah, this is exactly the reaction I had at that point. I was like, you want me to prescribe? Yes, we all take paracetamol, but at that point I was like, paracetamol? How do I spell that? What dose do I give? How much do I give? When do I give it? Where do I sign? How do I fill in the prescription chart? I just went blank, but at the same time I had someone who comes up to me and goes, "Doctor, this patient needs some pain medications. Can you prescribe some paracetamol?" At that point I was like, oh my god, I am actually the doctor on this ward right now. I'm actually the person who has to sign for prescriptions right now. So I was like, oh yeah, yes, of course. And obviously ward round is happening, like obviously my consultant's speaking to me. At the same time this nurse kind of comes and calls you, and I can't be like, oh, I don't know how to do it, because my consultant would be like, are you a doctor, or did you just walk in from primary school? So I grabbed the prescription chart and I'm looking at it. Nothing's going through my head. I'm like, right, Priya, like, please, you make sure your brain works. Like, wake up, brain, just do something. So somehow managed to write paracetamol, 1 gram, PO, because we're taking it orally, and I put my signature. And I put QDS, so I just circled the morning, the afternoon, evening, and night. So that was my first ever prescription. I prescribed paracetamol, guys. That's what I prescribed. So as soon as that happened, and I had to literally take a few seconds to be like, I just prescribed them something. I just prescribed something for the first time in my life. So that happened, and the nurse goes away and we carry on with our ward round. And then we go in and we see the patient, we draw the curtains around them, and I'm standing there with my pen and paper while my consultant is examining the patient and speaking to the patient, and I'm scribing everything he's saying. And then so we come out and he's like, okay, the plan for this patient is da 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 da. So he says a lot of things for me to do for that patient. So then I start writing it down and I'm like, okay, call surgery about this, call this about this, you know, like change the antibiotics to oral. And then he goes, patient is quite constipated, prescribe him some laxatives. And again, here we are now 10 minutes into being on the ward and I'm asked to prescribe a second drug. And I'm thinking, oh God, like how much, what laxative, which one, when do I give it, where do I prescribe it? And I'm literally going, my brain is literally getting scrambled. So then I get the prescription chart for that patient we've just seen and I'm just about to write. Okay, in my head I'm thinking, ooh, okay, during my sub F1 we've prescribed Movicol, we've prescribed Senna, we've prescribed lactulose, which one do I pick? I think at that point I could have prescribed anything, but I just didn't know, okay? And then my consultant goes, have you prescribed it? And I was like, oh no, I'm about to prescribe and I'm about to write. So my consultant was like, oh yeah, just prescribe some lactulose, 15 mils. And I was like, phew, he's done the hard part for me. Now I know what to prescribe and how much to prescribe it. So yeah, so then I prescribed my second drug, which was a laxative, okay? So first day on the wards, I'm prescribing paracetamol and laxatives. So the ward round was a little stressful because I just felt like I felt like I was supposed to do a lot of things, but I just didn't know how, and I felt like I was slowing my consultant down because I wanted to do a good job, but at the same time I'm like, I swear I would have done a good job if I had just seen for a day how things are supposed to be done. So obviously during the ward round he would be like, how are their blood glucose doing? And I didn't know where to find it, and I'm like, I don't know. And I just blankly looked at him like, and then he would be like, oh, it's the chart over there, go get it. So then I'll run over, get the chart, and then I'll put the chart back, and he'd be like, oh, have they opened their bowels today? Where is the stool chart? And I'm like, stool? I don't know where the stool chart is. And then bless him, like I think at times that he was like, right, she's just too slow. So he just used to get it himself, bless him. But yeah, so then it was a whole learning process. Like I was instead of observing someone do it, I just felt like I was just thrown into that situation and I was just forced to learn. You know, I just felt like I learned so much quicker because I was obviously paying attention, because I was the person who was being asked to do all of these things. So once I do it once, I'm like, oh yeah, I know where to find this now. So when we went to the second patient or the third patient, I automatically started bringing the prescription chart for that patient, looking at the stool chart, looking at the BMs, seeing if the patient's eaten or had something to drink, opening up the observation chart, you know. So by the time we got to like patient 10, I'd like to think that I was getting the hang of it and I was picking up things much faster than I think I would have if I was just passively observing someone. So yeah, so on my first day I looked after 16 patients. And now when I look back and I think, oh my god, I can't believe I was in charge of all those patients. So yeah, so we finished seeing all the patients. So we finished seeing like one half of the ward who I was looking after. And then at the end of the ward round, this is the scariest part, okay? Out of everything I've said so far, this point is when I was literally pooping myself. Literally, okay? So the ward round finished, and then he goes, okay, so I'll come back at around 3:30, okay? So get the jobs done and we'll go through it when I come back. And he walks away. He just walks away, okay? Leaving me with this list of jobs which I don't know how to do. I know I've spent 5 years in medical school. I know I've been on placements. I know I worked during the pandemic, but being given the responsibility as a doctor and being put on the ward, given patients and a list of jobs and told to just go do it, trust me, like, I don't think anything prepared me for that. I don't think I would have ever been ready for that. So yeah, then he walks away and I'm here thinking, right, so this is actually happening. I am expected to be a doctor today. Even when I look back today, I'm like, how did I do it? How did I manage? So guys, that's the end of part 1. Thank you guys for watching this video. I know this video was quite long, but I just wanted to make sure I make it as detailed as possible so you guys can appreciate exactly how it was like. Do check out part 2 of this video, which will be out on our YouTube channel very soon. Also check out my Instagram page for regular updates on what I get up to at work. As always, like, comment, share and subscribe to our channel and become part of our YouTube family. Till next time guys.